I don't need you to fix this, okay? I just need you to listen. If you're a husband, chances are you've heard that more than once from your wife. But when our wives ask us to listen, what does that really mean? What exactly do they want us to do? It sounds simple, but for us guys, it really isn't just as simple as listening. Or is it? Today on The Crafted Husband, we're going to talk about what exactly listening is and why it's so important to our wives. Hey guys, my name is Robert, and welcome to the very first episode of the Crafted Husband podcast. As husbands, we try our best, but we don't always get it right. And so I've created this podcast as a place where we husbands can just help each other out as a community. On each episode of this podcast, I'm going to be sharing some personal stories and offering some practical steps and wisdom on ways that you can approach different challenges that we all face in our marriages. And I'll also be talking about these things in the context of being a Christian husband specifically. If you're not a Christian, that's totally fine. I'm glad you're here, and I still think that you'll be able to get plenty out of this podcast, and I hope that you will still feel comfortable sharing within the community and bringing whatever wisdom that you have to offer as well. Because the overall goal of this podcast is to create that community of guys, other husbands that we can go to with our stories and our struggles and relate to and help each other. And if you're joining this podcast on YouTube, you'll notice that I'm either drawing or painting in these episodes as I talk about this stuff. Being an artist is my talent. That's my gift that the Lord gave me. And so I'm going to incorporate that into this podcast just to give you guys something to watch as you're listening. So let's get to painting and we'll talk about how to listen. So let's go back to that original scenario. Let's say your wife comes to you and starts telling you about an issue that she had at work or a problem she had with one of her friends or somebody. And so she starts telling you a story that clearly has some kind of underlying issue that needs to be resolved. And so you go into problem solving mode and you start offering solutions to whatever this is that she's talking about. Let's say her coworker maybe she was rude to her at work and it really bothered your wife for the rest of the day. So you're hearing this story unfold and immediately your brain starts generating solutions. You start saying things like, well, next time you see her at work, just say this instead, or just blow her off entirely, or just, why don't you talk about her behind her back for once? Let her know what it feels like. And so you're offering solutions and your wife starts getting frustrated. She starts just being more and more upset. And she's finally just like, look, stop trying to fix this. Okay, I just need you to listen to me. And for us guys, that just doesn't make any sense. How helpful is listening, really? Us guys, we don't get as much help from listening as we do from someone actually helping us solve our problem. And that's what we do for each other, actually. If you stop and think about it, if another guy comes to you with a problem, what do? You give him 2 or 3 different ways that he could solve it. That's what we are looking for as guys. When we go to another guy and we're having an issue that we need help with, that's actually what we want, is help with the issue. And so that makes sense to us, and that's what we naturally assume our wives want when they start telling us about something that's hard for them. But what we really need to realize is the difference between how men and women think and process through things, because that's really where the underlying issue lies here. If your wife has something she needs to get off her chest and she just wants you to listen, what we need to realize is that listening actually is solving a problem for her. This is really hard for a lot of us to understand because listening is not a problem-solving tactic for us guys. Because after all, how helpful is listening, really. I mean, the way we guys see it, it doesn't matter how much you stand there and listen. We're like, hey, the problem's still going to exist once we're done talking about it, right? So why would we feel any sort of relief or resolution just having someone listen? We want actual results, tangible change, things to actually happen that change the situation and solve the problem directly. And that's just not how our wives' minds work. They are looking for something totally different, and that is emotional stabilization. So when she needs emotional stabilization and you're talking A plus B equals C, so do this instead to solve your problem, you're really solving the wrong problem. You and her are speaking two different languages. She's speaking emotions and feelings, and you're speaking, hey, let's roll up our sleeves, let's go in here, let's get this thing done. That's not going to work. So really what we need to do is learn how to do what she needs us to do and step into her shoes for a minute and understand what's going on in her head. So if she's overwhelmed by a bunch of feelings and emotions, getting relief from that is her main objective. That's what she really wants, is just relief. So let's learn how to do that for her. It's pretty simple, really, and when they say all I need you to do is listen, that's really as simple as it is. The reason they say that is because when you talk to her and listen, you're giving her the opportunity to just process something out loud. For the female brain, getting something from our wives' brains to their mouths and out there where they know another human being is just hearing and understanding them, that provides that emotional stabilization. It gives them that relief from the overwhelming feelings. And if you stop and look at how women just talk to each other constantly, that's really all they're doing. That's why they send each other these 10-minute long voice messages on Marco Polo or some other app. These messages where it's just a video of them talking while they drive, just talking about what's in their head. They're being that listener for each other because since they are also women, they know that that's all each other really needs is just the space to do that. And so you're probably thinking, okay, so why doesn't she just talk to her girlfriends about this instead of coming to me? The reason she's coming to you is because as her husband, you are her best friend. Or at least that's what you're supposed to be. The most successful, long-lasting marriages are founded on very, very close friendships. And so one other reason your wife wants to talk to you specifically is to strengthen the friendship that she and you have. This is her way of getting two things done at once. Her objectives are getting relief from something by getting it out of her head, and her objective number 2 is bringing the two of you closer together at the same time. As her best friend, you are the one that knows her better than anybody else in this world. If she is starting to talk about stuff with you, that's an indicator that she feels emotionally safe with you. Emotional safety is a very big, important need for our wives. She knows that you're not going to judge her. You're just going to be on her side with whatever's going on. And so you're basically just being there for her as that best friend, letting her know she's not alone with these feelings. Because when our wives have a head full of feelings and it's overwhelming, one reason that is overwhelming is because they just feel like they're alone with it. They feel like I'm carrying all this around by myself, and I'm the only one that even knows about it. This is too much for me. I can't handle it. I need my big, strong man to come and help me with this. So even though this doesn't look like we want it to. It doesn't make sense to us. It doesn't look like coming in like a knight in shining armor and slaying the dragon. It's not going to look that way. But to her, it does feel like you're coming in and rescuing her from a dragon. And isn't that really what we want at the end of the day to do as husbands? Isn't that really what we want to do, is just save our damsel in distress and be their hero and be respected and revered and looked up to? That's what we want. And when we do this and listen for them, that's actually having that same effect. For them, that has the effect of you being that knight in shining armor and her hero. Okay, so we understand the concept of emotional stabilization, and that's what our wives really want when they ask us to listen, right? But how, though? How do we listen? I know you're probably thinking, I know it can't just be as simple as just listening, right? I mean, there's got to be more to it than that. There isn't. It's just that simple. So here's where we've got to restrain ourselves. We have to exercise some self-control to suppress that urge to jump in and start suggesting things to directly address whatever her issue is. And what we need to do instead is just stand there while she's talking and stay quiet. Just don't say anything until she's done, unless, the occasional, oh, okay, or, huh, that's interesting. But don't jump in and offer solutions. While she's talking, just listen attentively. And once she's done, you can say something like, hey, I see you feeling a lot better after talking about this. I'm so glad you're feeling better. And that's really it. I mean, you could ask, is there anything else that happened? Is there anything I can do? And more than likely, she's going to say, no, I just needed you to listen. That's it. And that's where we need to be okay with that being how it ends. We've got to just leave it at that and say, hey, I did what my wife needed me to do. She's feeling better. That's all we need to worry about. So I think that by doing this and by giving our wives what they really need, that is going to strengthen our relationships, our marriages, and doing that just a little bit at a time each day, that strengthens marriages. Just the little things like that remind her that her best friend is still there for her and always will be. That's all she really needs. So give her what she needs in the way that she needs it. And by doing that, you will be the hero that you want to be for her. So I hope this has been helpful for some of you guys. I hope that you'll also share this with someone else that you know that might be struggling with the same thing, someone that you think could benefit from it. And also, please leave me a comment and just let me know if you got anything from this or if there's any other thoughts that you'd like to add. And I'm going to have another episode coming up soon about being a provider for your family and what that means. So stay on the lookout for that, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.